Okay, so this should all be working now. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the stream. This is going to be the first official one. Planning to stream every day. I don't know what the time commitment's going to be looking like, but I do have some ideas for content structures. So on Monday, I want to be doing marketing and trading. So going through some trades, how I study for fundamental brush up on skills on my technicals and my fundamental analysis, and how I kind of get a read on the market. So that's going to be Monday is going to be kind of like a market breakdown and trading focus. Then Tuesday is going to be more health and fitness focused. So I don't know if that means I'm going to be taking you on my morning runs at 4:30, or if I'm going to have to like kind of come up with a more cohesive plan for that aspect of the stream. But thinking do something health and fitness related on Tuesdays between the hours of like 4:50 and 6:30 in the morning. I'm thinking Wednesday is going to be focusing on how we can gamify self-improvement, so techniques for being more productive, how to manage and limit distractions, and ensure that we're making progress even when we come up with roadblocks that might be difficult to surmount. That's going to be That's going to be Wednesday gamification, somewhere between the hours of 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Then on Thursday, we're going to be doing some deep diving focus. So working on learning, acquiring new skills. Things that I'm working on are language acquisition, and then just brushing up on my technical skill set. So that's looking at um, mastery of physics, math, basic science, Spanish, and then I may throw in getting a better understanding of different industries. So stuff that I'm interested in is AI, space, energy. So what I do to make sure that I know what's going on, so I'm on the cutting edge of the field, and then also kind of making sure that my foundational knowledge is up to par. Right, and that's going to be between 3 and 5 p.m. I think. Then Fridays are going to be kind of a wild card. We'll be doing challenges. Either viewers will kind of come up with challenges and send them out, and I'll pick ones that I think are adequate and do them live, or I'll just kind of come up with my own, and we'll stream that and convert that into a video format, and that's going to be 7 to 9 p.m. Then on Saturdays, we're going to be, relaxing a little bit more, breaking things down, getting a little bit less formal. So looking at crossover between gaming and strategy. So how can you take the skills that you develop as a gamer and apply them to other facets of life? So transferring those skills. So I think that's really going to just look like me playing games, and then coming up with stories about how I've kind of taken the skill set, or ability to adapt in certain situations, or break down situations into sort of granular components and approach them in a systematic way, and sort of figure out if there's any interplay or crossplay between gaming and then also strategy, life. And that'll be kind of around 3 to 5 p.m. on Saturdays. And then Sundays will be kind of a weekly recap. In the past, I kind of had like a Odan video series where I would do weekly recaps. I think I'm going to kind of continue that structure. So from 7 to 9 a.m. on Sundays, there will be weekly recaps, just kind of going over my productivity, what things I adhered to in my schedule, what things I deviated from, grading it, assessing it, and then proposing any changes that I need to implement. So it'll be Sunday, and then I don't know if I mentioned Monday's time frame, but ideally we're gonna try and be between 8 and 10 a.m. to our market analysis and trading. So that kind of gives you an outline for live streaming schedule, but the overarching purpose of why I created a channel, why I'm streaming, is really to like, in my head, it's like if I was go back in time 5 years in 19, what kind of content do I think would be most productive and helpful to my 19-year-olds? So really, that's kind of the target demographic that um, kind of aiming towards is people that are interested in the same things that I am: health, fitness, um, finances, economics, and then also STEM, and kind of curating content that is engaging, is practical, and I think with a heavy emphasis on practicality, right? So stuff that you guys can implement in your own lives and things that I'm implementing now, and kind of giving you guys a real time window into what's working, what's not working, and kind of taking you guys along with me for the journey. So outside of the streaming schedule, daily streaming, there's going to be kind of a week buffer, and then I'm also going to be uploading a video daily. Videos will probably be 10 to 15 minutes, and what I'll try to do is upload videos that are applicable to the respective category, right? So on Mondays, the video that I upload on YouTube will be a week behind what I'm live streaming, but it will still pertain to market analysis and trading. So usually it'll be, something I notice, some kind of challenge that I face throughout the week, because I'm in my own life, I will be trading daily, right? So there will be lots of obstacles and things that I'm encountering throughout that week. And so I'll have a week's time to kind of distill that into a 10-15 minute video, and upload that on the channel. And so similarly for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'll be rolling out videos, with a 1 week buffer between what I'm live streaming and based on, let me explain this better. Live stream will be the most kind of chronologically current content, and then long form YouTube videos will be 1 week behind. So on the face of it, that's what's going to happen, and it's going to be aligning with all the categories that I have set out for my live streaming schedule. So Mondays, the YouTube video for marketing and trading will come out. Tuesdays, video for health and fitness. Wednesdays, gamification and self improvement / productivity. Thursdays, deep diving into learning techniques, what I'm doing, strategies that I'm implementing, what I found that's worked, what hasn't worked. Fridays will be kind of a mixed bag. I don't know if I want to dedicate a long form video to just like a challenge that I did on a stream, or if I want to kind of take the opportunity to leave that open and kind of come up with it a little bit more spontaneously. But that's to be determined. And then Saturday will be the gaming and strategy crossover content, and then Sunday will be a distillation of the weekly recap. So in combination with that, I'm also going to try and roll out some shorts. Not super familiar with short, what's trending, what works for shorts, but I'll be experimenting with that. Social media is kind of foreign to me, but I feel like this is going to be a good exercise in integrating with this whole other realm. But it's going to be a little bit more entertainment focused. So like if you're looking for stuff that's going to be super educational or practical, you still be able to get stuff, but shorts it's going to be a little bit more humorous, a little bit more entertainment, and watered down. So that's just kind of stuff you guys can expect. Other than that, I think what would be fitting for the first official stream is to kind of explain the name, The Juice is Loose, and give you guys background into me and why I started this thing. So I guess I'll just kind of start with the story of Juice, how I got the name. And to be perfectly honest, I can't really remember how I got the name. I think there are kind of two flashbulb memories in my mind that I think the impetus for how I got the name stems from. So I think the first one is freshman year of college. I was a little bit chubby. I was juicy, one could say. And then I also really love juice. So In the winter, we'd have a training trip where we go to Puerto Rico. And I remember one of the training trips, every day I drank 2 liters of juice. So we'd go into the market. People would be buying, healthy foods that's going to sustain them for the training trip. And I immediately went to the juice section and I got 7 or 8 2-liter um, bottles of juice. It was like mango, eche or lychee, pear, apple, whatever. So I just kind of became known as Juice. That kind of became my moniker. Um, and I didn't really think anything about it, but then you don't realize it's like you get a nickname, and then people that you don't know begin to know you by your nickname. So I would be going out and about, and people would be calling me Juice that I don't know. Like they'd be like, "Hey, your name's Juice, right? Heard about you. What's up, man? How you doing?" Um, and that would be a little bit surreal. And I'm like, am I developing a reputation that I don't know about? So that was always kind of playing in the back of my mind, but I thought it was funny. And then also, this was kind of like a turning point for me, I think. This last summer, I went to Paris for the Olympics, and um, this was with family, so we kind of had like a family reunion, and we also got to go see some of the events at the Olympics. So I was with my brother. We were walking around in the city, and one of his friends' parents, I saw them. We separated. He went to go hang out with his friends and get some bar somewhere, and I was thirsty, so I went to the supermarket to get some juice. And I was walking down the street, and I saw this couple were parents of my brother's friends that I had met previously. Um, so I kind of was looking at them. I did a double take. I was like, "Whoa, what are the chances that I'm here and they're also here?" So I ran up to them and I said, "Hey, how you guys doing? What's going on? I think you guys might be parents of my brother's friends," and we kind of chopped it up for a little bit. Um, and so I said brother's name and I was like, "Yeah, do you know him? We're in the same swim team or whatever." They're like, "Oh yeah, totally. We remember you. What was your name?" So I tell them my name and they're like, uh, that doesn't sound familiar. Do you go by something else?" I was like, I don't think so. And then we kind of just stared at each other for a good couple of seconds, and they're like, "Juice, your name's Juice." And that was like in the moment, I was like, "Oh no!" Like my reputation has expanded outside of my immediate social circle, and people on the periphery are starting to know me as Juice. So that was just hilarious to me. I couldn't stop laughing. But it was cool. We kind of finished the conversation, and they went on their way. They were shopping or doing whatever. So shout out to them if they're watching. But that was kind of a moment where I was like, "Oh man, like this is kind of becoming a part of my identity that people outside of myself are um, like that's how people identify me." Like, okay, let's see if I can kind of repurpose this um, into something meaningful and purposeful, right? So I was like, okay, um, what is? Let's see if I can come up with like an acronym for Juice, right? Um, so I sat for a couple minutes and I was thinking about what are, what could it mean? What kind of esoteric idea or concept could I connect to Juice? And this is still working, so this might change. But I think um, currently I want to kind of use juice, the idea of being juicy, um, as kind of a metaphor for the energy or attitude that you kind of take in life. So if you break it down into an acronym, you have JUICE. The J will stand for justify, right? Why are you doing the things that you do? Coming up with justifications for your actions. I think that's the first step in really developing purpose and direction. And that's why it's the first letter with the meaning behind it. And then the second part is um, uncover, right? So U stands for uncover your biases, your limitations, things that are holding you back, right? It's not enough just to know what direction you go in. It's also important to know about what your constraints are, um, things that you can control and things that you can't control, right? So building that picture of your environment, the system that you're living in, that ultimately you can fashion it to your will. Third, we have I, right? I stands for integrate. So apply the truths that you learn from the introspection that is required to justify your actions and then uncover limitations and biases. Integrate that into either your personality or your approach. And then C stands for control, right? Control everything. You've integrated, you've uncovered, you've justified. Now you need to put all the pieces together and actually work to control the outcome. And then finally elevate, right? Once we have control over the system and the outcome, we need to elevate, we need to do better, we need to be iterating, we need to be making progress. So that's, I don't know how much that rolls off the tongue. I may still kind of work around what I think it means to be juicy. But for now, that's kind of what juice stands for. And then the juice is loose. I don't know. My friend for my birthday got me a big banner, and it said "the juice is loose" on it. So that's kind of been my moniker for gaming accounts and social accounts and whatnot. So then it was kind of I needed to come up with a acronym for loose. What does it mean to be loose? And I think that kind of portion is going to be dedicated to like life philosophy and operating protocol, right? So the L stands for live, U stands for under, I stands for intentional, C stands for consistent, and E stands for execution. So altogether, it's live under, intentional, consistent execution. And I think it's kind of beautiful in its simplicity because I think this is kind of a powerful protocol for operating. I think a lot of times people can, myself included, can get kind of stuck in our heads thinking about, what's the best way to do something as opposed to just taking steps forward and facing challenges when they come up as opposed to wasting time and resources solving problems that don't exist. So altogether, the juice is loose. Justify, uncover, integrate, control, elevate. That's kind of energy, the attitude that we want to have towards things that we do, habits that we're building, goals that we're setting, and then how we actually actualize that and transform our physical reality by applying a loose mindset, which is living under intentional, consistent execution. So I think that's kind of like a cute, practical, I don't know, acronym, justification for the name. That only people that watch this first official live stream will know. So if you do and you know the lore behind the name, I don't know what you get. Maybe come up with a report or something, but it'd be like an instant. And then finally, I think the other thing that I had planned for this live stream was I wanted to set up my demo trading account in MetaTrader. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the scene that I have for MetaTrader, and then we're just going to kind of experiment around and play around, get this thing set up, and then execute a demo trade and go from there. Do I want you guys to see my login? Probably not, right? So go back here. Let me set up the login, and then we'll keep it moving. So go here. I made an account previously, and I forgot the logins. Go back into working memory. Pull this out. I think. Oh, and then I guess why did I choose MetaTrader 5, right? There are lots of different trading platforms that you can use. One that I've experimented with was, what's it called? TradingView, which is kind of cool. It's got like a more modern UI, but it seems like you're kind of hamstrung by features. So they have different tiers of like subscriptions or subscriptions account tiers, and I didn't like that. Even though I like bought an account, it was like you can only have 2 or 3 indicators on your trading chart, and everything's kind of all the features that like you would need to develop a cohesive um, training strategy and plan were kind of. I mean, I guess if I did a little bit more reading, I would have known. Okay, I need to get a a higher subscription tier, but um, I don't know. That just kind of left a poor taste in my mouth. So I was like, you know what? I'm good off of that. I'm gonna go back to MetaTrader 5. I think it's great because it's free. Like it's free. You don't need to buy anything. You can trade anything, and you just link your broker to the MetaTrader, and then this interface you can do everything. You can write scripts. You can um, create advisors. You can build your own indicators, and you can integrate it all in this one system, which is something that I don't think you can do in TradingView. So given that I'm working on building a productivity app and I'm kind of getting my hands back into coding and whatnot, I figured this will be a good. This is just optimal for me, I think, because I can kind of have a little bit more control over everything that I'm working on, right? And then automation is also another thing, right? Like so, like once I develop a trading strategy that I've back tested and think is robust, I can start live testing it, right? And once I live test it and I'm satisfied with um, performance, then the next step is automating, right? So I think that's kind of what we're working on here. Okay, cool. So I've logged in, got this all squared away, I think. And oh, so yeah, there'll be a little bit more structure. I think next stream is where in the beginning I'll kind of give you guys what my approach is going to be to trading, what are the things that I'm taking into consideration, why I'm trading, um, the assets or the currency pairs or whatever that I'm trading, sort of all uh, the thought or the reasoning behind why I'm choosing to trade what I am. But I think just to kind of give you guys, a one sentence digestible philosophy, or at least what I'm going into this with is I'm looking for opportunity and risk, right? So I'm not going to be like, if you're looking for um, financial advice and trading content that's going to be safe and reliable and predictable, this may not be the one-stop shop for you, because I'm going to be looking for things that are a little bit more risky. Where there's risk, there's opportunity. They're hand in hand. Obviously, you have failure, but oh man, I should probably this channel blows up. I should make sure that this stuff is not visible. I don't want hackers breaking into my machine. But for now, we'll just leave it. But yeah, so in that, I'm focusing on Forex, right? Forex is going to be the commodity foreign exchange pairs that I'm trading. And I can't trade everything all at once, so I'm looking to pick two pairs. I think off rip, I'm looking at the euro and the dollar, as well as the dollar and the yen. And I think right now is actually kind of a good time to be getting into trading, because the economy is so volatile right now, right? Like, we have Trump in office. Regardless about what you think about him, the market is getting turned upside down. There's a ton of action in the American markets, so obviously volatility and in turn opportunity is going to be very high. Let's open the chart window here, and I want to kind of let's dock it. No, docked. Damn it. Okay, so I just flip between. I guess that's fine. Cool. So this is kind of what it looks like. I may play around with like settings and how I represent candles, bullish and bearish candles, and if I add any indicators here, this is I believe some kind of volume indicator. Yeah, it's tick volume, which just represents how many trades are going on. So the number of transactions that are occurring at this specific time interval. I think right now we're at the 1 hour time interval. So every candle is representative of a 1 hour period of time, all the transactions that are occurring for this currency pair. But yeah, so the goal here is I got a demo. I think I'm in the demo, right? I hope I'm in the demo. Let's put in, because I didn't sign up with a broker or anything. So let's just assume I'm in a demo account and let's place a trade. Cool. So this is what the US and the yen is looking like right now. I don't care about yesterday. I really want to focus on, well, I do care about yesterday. I think in terms of context, I'm going to be looking at the day before and today. And because my active trading window moving forward is going to be 8 to 10 a.m., that's going to be where on this chart? Over here. Right? This is June. So, and it's broken into 5, broken in 5. So each one's 2. So this is 10, this is 8. So in this window right here, that's where I'm trying to be trading. I'm going to move to a smaller time scale so we just kind of get a little bit more granularity. We can kind of develop a context for the day. Today is the 21st, right? So maybe we need to go even smaller. Go even smaller starts here. Just go super small. Yeah, this is fine. Oh, interesting. So I didn't realize this, but the smaller time scale data is actually lagging, which I guess kind of makes sense because I have a lot of trades going in and it might take some time to process it and then spit it back out at these small time scales. So I think I'm going to make a note of that. That's important. Where's my pen? Damn. Okay, I'll make a notepad reference. Let's make sure that I make sure to iron out MT5 settings and know how current each is. And then also I'm going to need to set up my page. Cool. All right. Okay. Let's just go to here and let's just say I'm looking at this. We're in a downtrend. Looks like there was a bullish reversal, right? There was a resistance here, right? So the market tried to dip below here, went up a little bit. This is another resistance line, I can imagine, because you have a matching top. This is just based on technicals. And then I guess this was the market retesting that bottom resistance line, and then you have a bullish reversal or continuation trend. So I think things are trending up. So let's just say I think the yen is going, dollar is going to appreciate relative to the yen. At this is in this was at 4:30 a.m. So I don't know what things look like now, but let's say that I want to make a trade. Let's try and make a trade. I should be able to do that, or maybe log into trade account. That's why. All right. I'm gonna hide the screen again, just for safety. Back in a sec. Oh, perfect. And then, wait, what? Oh man, that's not it. I delete it. I'll bring you guys back soon. Looking to close this window. Oh, there we go. Close it. All right. So let's open this guy up again. Open the chart window. Why is this? Okay. So I guess this is a demo account. So I guess what you see is going to be tied to whether or not you set up your brokerage account. And right now I'm in a demo, pretty sure. So that's why I guess we're in. Why are we in algo trading? No, I don't know. Let's see. Can I put in a trade? Go minute. Go to. I don't know. Look it up. Set up M5 demo account. All right, so I'm in. So, file. I logged in the account, I think. Logged in. Let's go. Sign up for a demo. Settings. In the account management tab. Where's the? See it. In the MetaTrader platform or Android, you can work with two types of accounts: a demo account and a real account. Demos provide the opportunity to trading account. Okay. Go here. Okay, so I have to sign up for a. Okay, cool. Boom. Open a demo account. You guys can see this, right? Yeah, you guys. Okay. So let's open it. Okay, so 10,000, 100,000? Say 10,000. Leverage 1 to 100. Okay. Oh, saw my email. Gotta blur that. Maybe I'll let's see. I don't care. We'll say juice. Loose. Say the juice. Loose. Let's just pick a random date. How old do I have to be? Phone. Go my number. Okay. Now I do. Boom. Boom. Finish. Okay, cool. So now everything's live. So that actually fixed everything. So I haven't used this in a minute, so I think because I wasn't active on the demo for a good period of time, they just kind of closed it. So I had to reset that up. But now we're square, and it doesn't matter what time frame you're in, it's all current. Perfect. and the volume indicators are a thing. Cool. And look, if we go back to what was it? It was 4:30, right? I think 4:30. That we were looking at, where we had the uh, resistance tap twice. I don't remember what time frame we were at though. It messes me up, but there was an uptrend, so my instincts were not off. All right, so this is what the market's looking like now. Looking at the 1 hour time scale, it looks like there's an uptrend. You have resistance here, 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 here. It tested twice. Looks like there's a resistance level up here, so I would anticipate that this is going to drop a little bit and retest at this resistance level. And because these are so big, yeah, I think there's going to be a little bit of a bearish movement for a little bit, and then it may go back up. So let's buy. So I'm thinking, oh, interesting. Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, says drag to modify. Yo, this is so cool. I didn't know you could do this. Okay, this makes life so much easier. Awesome. Okay, so I should put a so here, not a sell limit. I should put a sell limit here. Or do I have it reversed? A limit order is an order that executes once the limit threshold is released, right? So if it's a buy limit, if the limit is reached, then it buys automatically. And if it's a sell limit, the limit's reached and it sells. So let me just do a quick Google. Buy limit. I think I got it right? Buy limit. Okay, so a buy limit is the highest price you'd be willing to pay for it. So I had it reversed, right? So if I put a buy limit in here, nothing would execute because everything's higher. So I put a okay. So I'll put a sell limit up here. This thing had it right. And I have a, let's say a buy limit. Cool. And let's make an order. So this is where things are at right now. I think it's going to drop. So it doesn't make sense for me to buy. But I don't have any shares. So maybe, wait, can I do a short sell? Short it. Type. Instant. It's nice that it does the calculation for take profit. And it's nice that it also has this stop loss. That's pretty cool. I actually really like that. Okay. So, oh, so it's all built in. And what happens if I add deviation? Thing? Well, we're gonna play around with this. We're gonna figure out exactly, what everything means in this interface. But for now, I mean, this is virtual money. So, say I bought 50 shares. This is probably ill-advised. I would be either holding because I think it's gonna break past this resistance level, or selling because I'll be selling and applying some kind of leverage vehicle. I think it's going to be dropping. in kind of the short term. But we can look sort of at a smaller time scale and kind of confirm that intuition, right? We're looking here, it's been steadily falling. You can see this was that resistance level that I had set earlier. On this time scale, you can't even see um, the buy limit. So here, a little bit better, right? So the buy limit here. It's the sell limit, I think, right? Okay. So I don't see any technicals. Well, this is I should know. I've been practicing my technical. What is this? This is a 3 inside out, maybe, or that's something. It's like, I think if this guy was down here, it would be considered a morning star. I think this is a bullish reversal trend. Cool, interesting. All right, so it looks like this is going up. So I got sidetracked. Let's put it in order. Focus. Let's put it in order. I'm gonna buy. All right. So I put it in order here. Nice. Logs it right there. So we can. I don't think it makes sense to stare at this screen for a million years. But I guess I can go back and kind of give you guys a breakdown of how I approach what I do. You know, when I say from the hour of 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I want to be trading. What does that entail, right? So I break it up into 2 1-hour blocks. The first hour is dedicated to recapping on the context that I built from yesterday, any notes that I left for myself, any news that I know is going to hit during that time window or may have already hit, looking at the macroeconomic fallout or consequences of any news, any things that have happened in the world, and then also looking at what the kind of big picture trend was for yesterday. Do I think it's going to continue? Do I think it's reverse? That's in that first hour. Then also in that first hour, I just kind of quiz myself on technical indicators. So I use a thing called Anki. It's basically Quizlet but free. And I made a bunch of flashcards. I think like 50 flashcards. And I haven't done them for today, so it actually might be prudent. You just kind of do this together. So this is a Dragonfly Doji, right? This is so I have a bunch of flashcards with a whole bunch of technicals that I just kind of quiz myself on, and it's working. So if I see anything new or I'm reading a book that has a new indicator, I throw it in here. And I run through this every day in the morning at the beginning of that 8 a.m. to 9 window. So right here, this is I want to say Tombstone. No, it's a shooting star. Okay, gotcha. Tombstone is at the bottom, maybe. Inverted hammer or Tombstone. I always get those confused. Okay, so this is a bearish to Soki gap, downside to Soki gap. This is user bottom. This is Marzubozu. So when you have candles that are like very big wicks, a bullish and a bearish right next to each other, they're called Marzubozo, and they reflect market indecision. This is a great exercise. I can like talk to you guys as I'm doing this and explain what each indicator signifies for the given trend. So this is Morningstar, or I'm actually blanking on it. Damn it, I know this. Oh well, bullish abandoned baby. Yeah. Do that again. This is a bearish side by side white lines. Okay. It's a continuation pattern. So if you saw that on a chart, it based on just looking at that in a vacuum, you would think that the trend is going to continue downwards. This is a, I want to say advanced block, right? This is a bullish continuation pattern. Maybe continuation or reversal. I'm not sure. Let me look at the card. It's a reversal. It's bearish. Yeah, okay. So this is actually a bearish reversal pattern. And I guess that makes sense, right? Because orders are being bought up, but smaller range and smaller range. So it looks like momentum is decreasing. So that actually makes sense. Boom. We got this. We're looking at this specific wick, I think. The hanging man, I think. Yeah. And it's a bearish reversal trend. This is a inverted hammer, and it's a bullish reversal trend. This is bullish abandoned baby, I think. Morning star. They look the same. I think the difference is that the gap is smaller. I don't know. I'm gonna look that up. Make a note. Difference. Oh, can you guys even see? You guys can't. I don't even have that. Damn. Sorry, guys. Let's give you guys access to this window. You guys couldn't see anything. All right, Anki. Make a new source so you guys can see it. I move it here. That's no, this is disappointing. I wanted to show you guys my screen. What I'll do is really can't just do this. Surprising. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I figured I could. Right. But can you see it though? I feel like you guys can't. I'm looking at it in OBS and thing is not going. Okay, so what I'm gonna do in the short term is I will just share my screen. I'm gonna delete all the sussery on my desktop. Go display capture, add existing. Okay, cool. All right, so you guys can see this is my OBS, but this is what I was really talking about. This is Anki. So you guys couldn't see what I was talking about, so I probably sounded schizophrenic, but I promise you I was looking at flashcards the whole time. So yeah, so I was confused by the difference between bullish abandoned baby and a morning star. So what I did was I made a note. I'll make a note. Figure out the difference. Bullish abandoned baby and morning star. So I'll make notes, right? Everything that I need to figure out. And if I still have time before 9 a.m., then I'll go in and I'll find the answers to all those questions. And then I have a document. I have a document. Trading. Would it be in? So I have a trading journal. You know, I haven't filled it out yet, but I'm going to log every single trade that I make. So I guess this demo trade, I should also log the demo trade. I have the currency pairs or kind of commodities I'll be trading, results of back testing, and then forward testing. But this trades is going to be kind of the bread and butter of this trading journal. Got a trading plan. I already opened it, but just kind of breaks down what my philosophy is, so the mentality, the approach that I'm taking with trading. So I need to fill this out, but I've outlined, or I think I took this from like a website or something actually. But just kind of gives you questions that provide a little bit more resolution on what kind of trader you want to be. So identifying motivation, time commitment, goals, attitude towards risk, capital, markets that you want to trade. Yeah, yen, dollar, and euro to the dollar, record keeping, all that stuff. So this is work in progress, but I guess what we can do next time is I'll finish outlining all this stuff. But I wanted to at least have a first official stream instead of just waiting for the perfect timing, the perfect storm to have everything. Then here, trading strategy. So this is going to be like a more technical breakdown of either an algorithm or like an operating protocol for if I see XYZ in the market, I'm going to execute a trade. I'm going to stop the loss at this level, and I'm going to take profit at this level. So, in a nutshell, that's what this document is. The purpose of this document is. So, how I'm going to identify trends, what kind of signals I'm looking for, how fundamental analysis is going to confirm my takeaways based on the technical analysis. So how those two are going to be confluences with each other. Risk management. So sizing positions, where my stop losses and take profits are going to be. How much risk I'm allocating per day, and then execution, right? So all this stuff is going to be part of the trading strategy. Right now, it's just kind of a skeleton, but I'm going to go in, not tomorrow, but next week on Monday for the first half of market analysis and trading session. I'm going to be going through this. I'm going to be going through my flashcards, and yeah, and I think that'll take up a good amount of time. And then the second half we'll do live trades. So we'll execute a trade, and then we'll do either some practice in the interim, or looking at what we'll do is, if the strategy is ironed out, I'll show you how we go about implementing the strategy and executing it strictly, right? Not deviating from it. What that looks like, and then people have questions, or if I come up with interesting, ideas or thoughts, segues, I'll kind of. But yeah, that's it for today's live stream. I just kind of wanted to get one out there. I've been procrastinating on it, kind of coming up with streaming schedule, a video schedule, figuring out what the purpose of the channel is going to be, drafting all kinds of documents in terms of strategy, what I'm looking for, what I want to produce, setting up the channels. I know this was only streaming on YouTube, but I will have things going on Twitch and Kick as well, because I figure there's no point in leaving low-hanging fruit on the table. Might as well stream to everything to reach the biggest demographic, as big a demographic as possible. So that's kind of going to be the approach. So over here, over time, we'll get things to be a nice, well-oiled machine. But I appreciate you guys for bearing with me with this stream, and I think I'm going to sign off here. So look forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a stream for health and fitness, we're going to be, I may just take you guys on my morning run, especially since I'm trying to get that stream knocked out early in the morning, 4:50 to like 6:10 maybe at the latest. So yeah, I think I'll take you guys on. I call it a run. It's a jog. Legs have been going through it, so it'll be, you know, like a little. We'll say at least a mile and a half, but ideally we'd like to get 3 miles. And I can kind of talk more about like what my fitness goals are and all that stuff tomorrow. But thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. I gotta come up with like an intro and an outro, so look forward to that. If not tomorrow, but certainly by the end of the week. For people that watched the OG Juice is Loose videos, no, you know, one, apologies for the radio silence. Just life was lifing, and couldn't dedicate the time, which is, I mean, these are all excuses. I definitely could have, you know, where there's a will, there's a way, but I didn't, so I apologize for dropping the ball on that. But no, like, my intent is never to give up on anything, right? So whenever, even if I'm experiencing obstacles or roadblocks, I'm still going to come back, and I'm not a quitter. So unless, you know, sometimes you have to quit, right? I think there's a little bit of nuance there, but I think figuring out times when it's challenges that you can overcome, and you know, it's reasonable to keep trying and keep pushing. There's nothing kind of holding you back or repercussions from continuing to try. This is actually a really good topic, so I may open this up on, I think, Wednesday. Wednesday is my gamification day, so make a note. This is what we're going to talk about: the nuance between persistence and being foolhardy, right? Running into a wall head first over and over versus pivoting and, you know, realizing, okay, it's time to try a different approach. But sorry, I got hella distracted. I was kind of rambling and talking, but yeah, tomorrow will be health and fitness. Thanks for watching. We'll set up the intros, the outros by the end of the week. Streaming on more platforms, and oh yeah, and I was saying, thank you to the OGs for you know, for tuning in the beginning when I kind of set up the channel. I was like, I'm gonna upload a video every day, and we had it going for a good 30 days, I would say. It just kind of fell off. So we're reviving. Decided not to make a new channel. I'm not gonna take down the videos. I'll leave them up there. I'm just not gonna advertise them. So if you want to see them, you got to go searching for them. But I think it's cool. It'll be cool to look back on. So with that said, it's been an hour and a minute, an hour and 2 minutes. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Love ya.